Hey, what's up, party people? Welcome to the Honest Trailer commentary for Invincible, a show that I enjoyed, but had to make honest trailers about anyways. With me, as always, is Lon and Danielle. We'll be talking about our behind-the-scenes, in-depth thoughts behind the show and our thought process. We will be talking about deleted scenes, because we have a few of those this time. And we're going to tease you with next week's Honest Trailer, as well as respond to questions and comments from angry viewers like yourselves. This was a fun show that I liked a lot. I actually watched it not thinking we were going to do an honest trailer about it, but man, everybody really banged on the rafters until we did one. So good job, fans. Commenting works sometimes. Keep it up. I just watched this because I actually, in a rare moment, read the comics first and enjoyed the comics for Invincible, and was like, oh, they made a show of this. Great. And it suffers from, I think, the usual oddly low budget animation of like they save all the money for the fight scenes, and then the rest of the time they just kind of anime it in. Come on, Bezos, you're going to space. You can take a little more dough towards the production.
Like on some level, though, didn't you feel like that was intentional? I felt like this was supposed to take us back in time to like the 80s and 90s when TV animation was just a little cruder.
The budget constraints of a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, I'm not, obviously a lower budget works great for everybody. I'm sure that was on purpose, but I do think that they wanted it to have that throwback sort of out of time feel.
I'm just surprised this is as popular as it is. What do you think, Danielle? What's your Invincible takes?
I also read the comic, and I really liked the animation. I was surprised that people liked it as much too. I think it was one of those things where it was just kind of right place, right time. But also, it is just really good. It's a really good story. It's told very well. The violence, I think, surprised a lot of people. And for some people, I do think that was kind of a hook in, where it was like, oh, well, this ain't your mama's superhero origin story. And so I think that definitely contributed to some of the popularity of it, because some of y'all are sick. You're sick people.
Sick little puppies. You need a hook at this point, because as you point out, there are a million of these subversions of superhero shows going, to the point where this one came out in 2003. The comic came out in 2003. They were already making fun of superhero tropes back then, at least the comics. So this kind of has it's like Mystery Men, where like it came out way too soon. Like the comic, I think, came out too soon. But like if Mystery Men came out today, it'd be a huge hit. So you're right. I think this was the right place, right time for Invincible. Well, I mean, should we just dive in? I mean, it's a good show that we all enjoy. It's kind of a rare occurrence. So let's watch the honest trailer. Yeah. Is Taco down there, Lon?
Taco is right here being his usual bother. I'm trying to get him to go.
The guy who reinvented the zombie genre by making it more grounded, relationship-focused, and hyper-violent, comes a reinvention of the superhero genre that makes it more grounded, relationship-focused, and hyper-violent. Look out, movie musicals. You're about to get Kirkman'd.
Pause. I mean, we say do that like it's easy to do that. Like, no, it's very difficult. Robert Kirkman's very good at what he does. I also, though, would watch the bleeding butthole cut of Cats.
It's funny. I really wrestled when I wrote that opening, like what genre to have. Look out, blank, you're next. I thought of musicals, and then I ended up picking, when I wrote it, disaster movies, and I thought maybe like the big Independence Day, like the White House blowing up, but we just put blood everywhere instead of just the light show. But I think Cats the Butthole Cut work. Any excuse to see James Corden bleeding from his posterior, I'll take.
That's an honest trailer promise. Yeah, I was worried that changing it to musicals might be just a little like, I don't know, corny or the easy answer. But then when you see it all come together visually, and you see James Corden,
sometimes you go with your gut. Yeah,
you go with your gut. Important decisions always being made. All right, keep going.
Invincible. From LexCorp comes another grim story about how superheroes would behave if they were real. No, the other one on Amazon. Meet Mark Grayson, an ordinary teen who discovers he's secretly part alien and possibly part Canadian.
Sorry, I'll be right back. Sorry about your apartment. Sorry about this. I've been an and I'm sorry I didn't realize that sooner. Sorry.
So pause. I just assumed because of that Canada shirt that this did take place in Canada. So I was like, I think the first version of this joke in my head was like, come on, Omni-Man, like you want your son to take over the world? Like you raised him in Canada. You can't even get him to punch anyone without saying sorry first or something like that. But it takes place in Chicago or alt Chicago or something like that. Like, so what's going on there? What's with that Canada shirt? I guess the actor, I think Stephen Yeun and Sandra Oh are Canadian. So it's like maybe he's half Canadian. Can someone unravel the Canada mystery for me?
Maybe he's just polite, Spencer. Like there are polite Americans. It's not exclusively a Canadian feature.
Or he's just a Canadian stan boy. He just really loves Canada.
Yeah.
He's appropriating Canadian culture by apologizing for everything.
It is odd, unless it's like a sport. Like if it's like Team Canada, I guess that would be a thing. But it is otherwise odd to just like wear a shirt about your favorite country. It's like, I mean, I guess like tourists, maybe if you go to like Ireland, you get a shirt that says Ireland on it. But otherwise, it's like a weird flex, but okay.
I mean, the back of every t-shirt I own says like, this is America. And if you can read this, you're too close. And if you think you're dating my daughter, I got a gun.
I'm a mechanic and my wife is a registered nurse and we live in Kentucky. You know,
and we're both Virgos.
Spots. Yeah. And if you got a problem with that.
Yeah, the text gets really small by the end.
Yeah,
but
take it up with my AR-15.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said back here.
Yeah, you gotta work your way down.
Keep going.
Hi, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I know. I'm sorry. I suck.
He's an everyman for the Zoomer generation, which means he's extremely depressed, horny, and resents having to actually do anything with his abilities.
I can't believe I still have to exercise.
But he'll have to harness all of his strength to battle exotic villains, protect his friends, and gain one single clue across an entire season of television.
Hey, I didn't invent the rules.
What rules?
It's kind of like peeing your pants on purpose.
What? What's going on? What? Oh, okay.
There's so much you don't know, Mark.
What?
Okay, you're Superman and your dad is Thanos. Mark, you are a comic book nerd. You should get this immediately.
Yeah, so pause. I mean, this was something that we talked about but didn't quite fit in. Maybe it's in a deleted scene. It's like the prevalence of superheroes in this universe. They seem like they're everywhere. Like they dominate pop culture. And like there's so many, there's like 4 different teen superhero teams like working, I guess, in Chicago and stuff like that. Like, how could you be an outsider to this world? Like, and they even make a point of showing that he's a big comic book nerd, which I guess is like, are they all autobiographical? Like, is there a seance dog?
I think they're doing the thing. I think they're doing the Watchmen thing where their comic books in their world are not about superheroes because superheroes are an everyday thing for them. So they're about like dogs with powers and stuff. Like that's why in Watchmen, the big comic is about pirates because you wouldn't care about like a superhero is already exists. So I thought that's what they were doing with Seance Dog. It's like, oh, he reads a comic that's about a psychic dog because that's still not real in his world.
That is 100% in the realm of reality in the Invincible universe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess anything is possible.
Or in the comics, it's Science Dog. Yeah.
But he still gets surprised when he meets like an alien. Like it's not that every day for him.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Though his dad's an alien.
It's sort of almost like the John Wick series. Like at first it's just like, oh wow, there's a lot of undercover assassins around. But by 3, it's like literally the entire city of New York is an assassin.
Right. And this is truly the superhero universe, maybe The Boys, but even then, that I would least like to live in because it just seems like 24/7 chaos. Like how many people are victims of collateral damage in this universe because they keep destroying like everything is commonplace, destroying the city, destroying the White House, destroying monuments. Like just no thank you. I will take my chances in The Walking
Which
Dead.
universe do you think you'd be safer in, this universe or the Grand Theft Auto universe? Because that's what it feels like. It feels a bit like if you just lived in Liberty City. Like at any minute, somebody could just round the corner and drive over you.
I mean, I guess Grand Theft Auto, because I feel like there's only like, as long as there's only one person playing at a time, not Grand Theft Auto Online.
Right. GTA Online, obviously, is what I meant.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, neither.
I'm just dropping you into Los Santos. Good luck.
Hey, CJ. All right, keep going.
Go again.
Here we go again.
Get to know wild characters
Gotta
like
get on the train.
Omni-Man, a guy with the most intimidating superpower of all, dad strength. He's Mark's father and a clever subversion of every boy's fantasy that their dad could beat up your dad. Not like this. There's also Amber, Mark's girlfriend, who totally cracked his secret identity. Totally.
You know?
I'm not an idiot. I figured it out weeks ago. Who was that?
The police are on their way.
Where the hell did you go?
Sandra Oh in a dual role as an important character's mother and a different important character's wife. And the Guardians of the Globe, the Washington General.
I guess it's a deleted scene, but yeah, Lon, you point out that Sandra Oh's character is to get in the way of what the heroes want to do and thus become a villain.
It's both Zazie Beetz and Sandra Oh's character are in the Skylar from Breaking Bad roles, where they, if you look at it from their perspective, perfectly logical, all the things they're doing and saying, but because they become the antagonist because we want the heroes to do whatever they want. So like the audience is like, no, but I want Walt to go back to making meth, Skylar. Stop spoiling it. But it's like, but any rational woman would be like, Walt, you need to stop doing this. This is crazy.
Yeah. I want to see the father-son punch-off. Don't get in the way of that.
No, but I want Omni-Man to blow up the entire subway system. It sounds fun. Don't stop it.
Is there like maybe is this in the comics or something? Like, is she low-key an alcoholic? Like, she's hitting the sauce, or is it just regular mom drinking levels?
Yeah, I think she's just a regular old wine mom.
Regular wine mom levels. Okay.
Eat, praying, and loving.
Yeah. Somewhere on their wall is a frame poster that says it's wine o'clock.
Wine o'clock somewhere.
See it. Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Washington Generals of superhero teams. They're here to do two important things. Kill time until Invincible or Omni-Man shows up, and use their superpowers to get around age of consent laws.
I don't look it, but I'm 24 years old.
I'm a 30-year-old genius in a teenage boy's body.
I never expanded myself to that extent. That was
so pause.
Intense.
I also assume that this is going to factor in more in season 2 and 3, but like we spend a lot of time with the Guardians of the Globe, and they do not matter in the grand scheme of things at all yet. Right? Like they're just kind of filler. I mean, they're interesting characters, but when you think like the world they've created, there's Omni-Man and the Vitruvians. It's like if you kept cutting to, I don't know, Netflix Daredevil in the middle of Captain Marvel or something like that.
Yeah, no, they don't seem like they're very, but I think it's good to build the characters. And I do think that they're going to wind up playing more of a thing in season 2, because we've got to see those two people who aren't teens in teen bodies go on dates. And that's very important.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could have probably left them behind once Adam Eve kind of split off.
I see what you did there.
But I don't know. I think that by the same token, though, is like that, I think is the most fun part of the world, is like there's just kind of this parade of different vibrant superhero characters that is just kind of fun to be around. Like the villains, especially like the recurring villains and like Doc Seismic and stuff like that. And these little guys that would kind of recur in the background here and there. Like that, I think, is what's fun, and is like Kirkman just kind of playing around in this universe.
Yes. I agree. To me, at its best, this felt a bit like a more serious and weighty Venture Brothers, like that we're creating this kind of alt universe where any kind of pop culture-y pulp sort of character can exist. And so these creative writers just get to like fill every corner in with like funny, weird, interesting little ideas. And like, I think at its best, that's what this does, where it's just like all of these fun, like one-off weird things that Kirkman or one of the writers came up with that they just get to like spend 10 minutes on, and then, okay, we're off to the next adventure. I don't have to really flesh this out much.
Yeah. You love to see it. All right,
Yeah,
keep
exactly.
going.
Like that's the highlight of this.
Explore a vast and entirely original comic book universe when it was first published back in 2003 that took care to update some of the old tropes, but still has a ton of jokes you'll be hearing the second time around, like clones who can't decide which one is the original.
I'm the original.
He told me you're the clone. What do you think he told me? You're the clone?
I'm gonna do Rick and Morty one of these
who
days.
secretly specialize in hero costumes.
I'll strive for iconic.
No kicks!
A friendly alien voiced by Seth Rogen.
Are you using your tongue out?
It's probing time.
And robot-headed mafia bosses.
I've got money.
It gives me no joy to do this, because Clamps will be doing it.
Geez, there are
Love
multiple
Clamps.
animated comedies featuring wacky robot godfathers? Maybe we should try a new genre once in a while. Hey, anyone up for bringing back the horny ski
I
comedy?
fit it in to an honest trailer. This is the new
Marvel
Alan.
let it show
It's
so
clips
dead.
from Ski School.
Your love of ski comedies is legend in the Honest Trailer Writers Room.
Yeah. I didn't know how to. When in doubt, show a clip from Ski School. Or is that Ski Patrol? I'll have to go back and check.
Oh, I thought that was Ski School, right? thought it was-
You're
I
right.
thought it
Ski
was
Patrol is the one. That's definitely Ski School.
Yeah.
Ski Patrol is the one with the guy who has like the 3 different like heads on his ski helmet. And,
Right.
like,
Yes.
he talks
I
to them,
assumed
like-
we were gonna pull from Out Cold, so I was surprised to see
Yeah.
Ski School.
Yeah.
I
Respect
feel like
your
Out
elders.
Cold is the sort of the iconic one for this generation.
And we got to just rip the whole movie because I wanted to do the scene where the guy skis into the hot tub, but I could only find this one online. So
When are we doing every ski comedy ever? When is that Honest Trailer?
that'll be my final honest trailer.
That's your.
Nobody will, nothing
Leave
will
on a
top
high
that,
note.
and nobody
Yeah.
will want to watch the show after that. All right, keep going.
So Marvel had a show so dense with A-list celebrities, it's super clear that Amazon can afford to give its drivers bathroom breaks, or at least improve the animation when it's not part of the fight scene. In this show that combines the look of a 90s cartoon with tons of fun twists, recurring jokes, and... Hey, wait,
They
that
really
wasn't
just
done!
dropped that on you.
Okay, why would you drop the credits like that? The episode clearly isn't over. There's like 2 more minutes left. See? Starring... Young Justice.
Get me pictures of Omni-Man. Wait, I'll do it.
How I Pet Your Mother. I wish that I had Joker's girl. Nick Calm.
The Pink Ranger.
Doltron. Jason Mantzoukas as himself.
He'll do what?
I don't know. Probably explode something. Ooh, maybe
I think,
nuts.
pause.
And Subway.
We can all agree that Jason Mantzoukas, while perhaps being typecast or one note, is a huge societal improvement over T.J. Miller.
Oh yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
he's just
yeah.
taken all of those roles, and I don't
Definitely, if it's a vocal role, Mantzoukas is just in there, just
Yeah.
neatly segued in there.
mind. He's super funny. Even when he shows up, he did The League, right?
Yes.
And he's in this show, I'm Sorry, that I love, but got canceled. He's good.
Oh, he's he's in a ton of stuff right now. Like I feel like he's in Big Mouth, obviously.
And who could forget TikTok, Mr. Wick?
Yeah, he's the TikTok man. He's back in Wig 4. But yeah, I feel like he's having like a real like moment now too. There's a lot of like upcoming animated shows and stuff that he's gonna pop up in. Some
All
sort of
TJ Miller had to do was
vocal-
not call in a bomb threat on a train that he was
Well,
on.
and like not
And
be
several
horrible.
other things.
Not be horrible to everyone for 20 years. If he could have just managed that, he would be riding high.
Okay. Anyways, keep going.
And Subway. Eat fresh. Splotchman.
Did you guys notice the Invincible shirt that I put in that other movie where I voiced an alien? You see, you plant the seed and then you the plant.
John really wanted to do his Seth Rogen, so
It's good.
It's a good-
If you can
it's a good
do
Rogan.
it, yeah, if you could do it, go for
it's
it.
a good Rogan.
It's a good Rogan.
Anyways, thank y'all for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't. You know how a YouTube channel works. This is one of those, and it helps when you hit the little ring-a-ding-dong so you can see us every time we do one of these, which is often.
Every Tuesday, I feel like.
Every Tuesday, yeah. And more stuff, like the Loki video that we had a real therapist diagnose Loki and give him a treatment plan. It involves a time machine. We all have access. Insurance covers that, right?
Well, Loki's got one. We don't, but he's,
Yeah. He's on someone's payroll, the TVA.
If you've got like a silver or gold PPO, then that's part of that. It's part of it.
We cut a bunch from this trailer. It was longer. Let's see if any of it should have stayed in. Let's roll those deleted scenes.
No, the other one on Amazon. Because now that meta deconstructions of the genre are its own genre, one series will, have a bunch of bright colors and pew-pew laser animations and stuff. Is that different enough? No? Okay, what if they try to make you puke once an episode?
I think we can all agree you're better without vocal cords.
Now pause. This was the coward's cut that I made. I blinked in the face of not wanting a trailer to get age gated or flagged because I know it's animated and everything, and we could have blurred the whole screen or whatever, but I, out of fear, cut this because I thought just the 30, 40-second long montage of gore would have gotten the trailer put behind a wall.
Would you say you've been silenced by a woke mob?
Yes, thank you for putting it into words. It's exactly, this is cancel culture in action.
Run amok, folks.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell the Prager University.
It's not a mask, it's a muzzle, and 5G is why your Invincible trailer is censored. So there you go. Yeah, that's
Join us for our next Honest trailer about the My Pillow Guys Q documentary. Everybody needs to hear about this.
Yeah, but there's no commentary. We just play the documentary
we just
because
watch
everyone
it
needs to
with
hear
you.
this.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Sorry, I cut out all the gore. I was worried it would get flagged. So, anyways, keep going.
Oh, cool. Hey, can someone grab a squeegee? The title card's covered in chum again. Okay, you're Superman and your dad is Thanos. You're Goku and your dad is Vegeta. Mark, you are a comic book nerd. There's also Amber, Mark's girlfriend, who's trapped in the Skylar from Breaking Bad role, making logical decisions that disappoint the hero, thus making her a villain. Sandra Oh as a total normie.
You don't understand the choices we have to make. You're not a superhero.
I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, and I'm the only one of us who can't fly. You're a boring old normal mom.
I'm more like you. I'm nothing special.
Like a knife to the heart with this one.
Okay, why would you drop the credits like that? The episode clearly isn't over. Are you trying to be edgy? Or are you just scared we're about to switch over to the tick?
This crater is brought to you by the letter T!
Starring Dionne and the Restless. I learned about watching you, Dad, okay? I learned about watching you! Image Comics Man. J.K. Growling. World Sadist Dad. Actual non-metaphorical whiplash. One Punch Man. One Punch Dad. Mortal Mom said! Sandra, oh no he didn't. Drop the hero and get with a zero. Professional fake girlfriend Zazie Beetz. Beats it. Amber is the color of her energy. Stellar Skarsgård. Agents of Healed.
There's also a 311
Robot
reference
Spock.
in every Honest trailer, so if you can find them all.
Blue Girl Squad. Gritty and Pink. Wow, she really Brited the heck out of this thing. Cape Fear. The secret identity of the American teenager. Shy Hero Academia. You know, if superheroes really did exist, are we 100% sure they'd all be celebrity movie stars like on the Amazon shows? It's not like nurses or firefighters ever get booked on The Tonight Show. I mean, if the Justice League were real, people would just complain about how long they took and give them one-star Yelp reviews. Okay, how are their secret identities not immediately known? 2 people in the world have ever been able to rock that mustache, and one is Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, I just think they lampshade that in the show. They're like, oh yeah, why didn't I notice that before? Like they make a point of being like, yeah, it's obvious, right? Or am I giving it too much credit?
I think you might be giving it too much credit because I mean, and it's they're constantly flying around without wearing they're going off and getting cheesecake in Italy and then flying and landing directly in front of somebody's house. Like they're not slick.
No, they're not.
The
slick,
neighbors
but
have to know.
They do. There are all these sonic booms next door. I wonder what that's.
I feel like this is one of those things where it uses the fact that the whole show is meta to just kind of be like, well, so nobody's going to pay attention to the rules because we've already put it out there that we're self-aware and it's like a deconstruction of all the tropes. So once you're already there, then to go back to be like, well, what about the secret identity? Be like, it's a deconstruction of all the tropes. It's kind of like a get out of consistency free card on some level.
And they have like a throwaway line of like, if you don't expect to see a superhero in your high school, you don't. Right. But I think everyone would expect that in this world when there's like 4 different teen superhero teams in America's 3rd largest city. So,
I'm playing a little fast and loose with that to make the drama work, which I think is, okay.
All right, on to the questions in the chat. So Stephen Summers asked, do we need or want a live action Invincible project after this series? Lon and Danielle shaking their heads no. I think it'd be really hard to match the tone. I mean, like visually the tone, just the vibrancy and this would be a massive budget movie unless you want to kind of dull it down, and then that's how you get The Last Airbender. Do you want The Last Airbender? Because that's how you get The Last Airbender. So I think no, this is a perfect animated project. Let's keep it 2D.
I think it's defined in some ways by being like over the top violent, but if you did that in live action, it cuts your ability to make it funny and entertaining and light the way the show plays. Yeah. So I don't know how you would do that. It would just be gross.
Okay. Other question from Stephen Summers. Is animation the new thing for streaming services where they can spend the money on the voice cast and the fight scenes to keep the cost down? I don't think I think that they went overboard with the voice cast on this one. I feel like they could have. You don't need Mahershala Ali to play a rock man for half an episode. Like that money can get you some better, looped walking animations or something like that. Like they obviously you need big stars for like J.K. Simmons and Steven Yeun for the main 2 roles. But then like, come on, like spread the wealth around to the animators or something like that. What do you guys think about this? Is this a trend or is this a one-off?
Well, especially we're seeing a lot of animation that's going to be coming out now. I think we're going to be seeing more just because it was like the thing to kind of produce during the pandemic. So I do think we're going to see a lot more with like these really pumped up voice casts. So I don't think that this is going to be the end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier to produce. You could do it with a lot of your team remotely. And so, I mean, I think it just, when you're pumping out as much content as all of these companies are, and you're in an environment where a show like this, or, like a hot anime can become like a huge cultural thing, like an Attack on Titan, or, I think we're just, of course, it's obvious that we're going to see a lot more projects like this. And I was actually just reading an interesting thing about, it was asking sort of, did Netflix screw up by trying to do Jupiter's Legacy in live action? Like, kind of like this, if you wanted to make a whole Mark Miller world, superhero world, might have been easier to animate it and have all those shows interact rather than trying to recreate it in live action.
Definitely. MJ Pretzer asks, well, he says, would the show be more violent or about the same if directed by Zack Snyder? I don't think Zack Snyder would have picked this story. I think he probably could have done it back at the turn of the century, and he chose to do Watchmen. I mean, which is pretty similar. I'd say his version of Watchmen, it has a lot in common with Invincible, and I think the differences are readily apparent. But I don't think he would have made his version of this any more or any less violent, because that's pulled straight from the comics, right?
Yeah.
Except for the subway, I don't think that shot is in there. Is that? I don't remember that one.
I don't remember. It's been a minute since I read it. But yeah, I don't know that he would have, because this is, like I said, or like Lon said, the violence on this is ultra. So I don't know that it would have been able to have the same amount of violence in a live action, or if Zachary Snyder took it over. I think it would have been less violent, just in terms of the use of gore, not necessarily in the amount of punching.
I think it's weird to think of this in a Snyderian context, because this is self-aware and kind of cheeky and playful and ironic. And I don't even mean this as a criticism of Zack Snyder, but his stuff is not that. Like, he's maybe our most sincere filmmaker. Like, it's not supposed to be cheeky. It's not playful. This is epic. This is ultimate. This is badass. This is essential. This is important. It's all about deep themes and, you know, like life and death. And so like, I don't think Invincible is the sort of thing that interests him. I think something that's weightier and heavier and more thoughtful and with grander stakes that isn't just like, okay, now it's just about this kid in high school. It's like, no, it's about the fate of the universe, you know, like, so I think Watchmen it makes much more sense for Zack Snyder than Invincible.
All right, I'm curious about this one. A little off topic, but I'll take it. Mac Attack 423 asks, you have any good audiobook recommendations? I could use some too, so I'm all ears. You guys do audiobooks? And failing that, books?
No.
No books. No audiobooks.
No, I mean, like just fiction. We're just recommending fiction.
Yeah, just throw a book out there to give the people something to tide them over till next week's episode.
Well, one thing I recommended fiction a lot that I'm a big fan of is a sci-fi author named Ian Banks. He wrote a series called The Culture.
Sure.
That are not as well known even among sci-fi fans, I find, but are terrific. I would start with Player of Games.
That's that's a great book. I can second that. Danielle, any books?
Oh man, the last book that I read on tape or that I listened to on tape was that Twilight that's all through Edward's perspective, because
Nice.
I wanted to listen to The Worst Thing, and boy, I got it. So if you're into something that's a little weird and you're listening to a sociopath talk about how a girl smells, this is the book on tape for you.
I'd like to hear a several 100-year-old man's adventures in high school. That sounds thrilling. One other one I'll recommend that I recently read, a friend got it for me, is Mark Frost's novel, The Secret History of Twin Peaks, that like takes you through the whole sort of like long history of the town and spotlights all kinds of background and stuff if you're a fan of that show. But it's really neat, and it is written as like a novel.
Well, there you go. I don't do audiobooks. I can recommend some podcasts, but books that I'm sure have audio versions. I just read this book. I don't even know how to pronounce it because I didn't do the audiobook. Circe by Madeline Miller, which is it's a book from the perspective of kind of a minor deity who gets exiled, and then all the great heroes and gods of Greek and literature. I don't know, the Homeric people kind of stop by on her island.
CIRCE, like
Yeah.
isn't that Circe?
Let's say Circe.
I thought that's how you say that. I don't know.
But it's super good writing, and I'm sure will be an Angelina Jolie movie in 2 to 4 years. So check that one out and let me know what you think. That's it for this week's show. This week's book report. So we'll be back next
Didn't
time.
know we'd be put on the spot. You can see the panic cross our faces.
Books?
What? You can't watch those.
Can't watch those, but we will soon. All things get adapted on a long enough timeline, and on a long enough timeline, we will be back next week to do a episode that will absolutely slay. So that's your clue for next week. Lon, Danielle, thank you for joining us. You two, audience, we'll see you next time on Australia Commentaries. Bye-bye.